Thrifter, Junker, Vintage Hunter, and it's time for my weekly What Sold on eBay video. It was a decent week. It was a strong week. I was happy with the week. I sold a total of 22 items on eBay. Now I do sell on other platforms as well, but eBay is where I make the majority of my money, so it's where I'm going to spend my time telling you guys about. Let's go ahead and get started. I'll do a recap at the end to tell you what my net sales were, and I hope that you enjoy. See you in a few. The first thing that I want to talk about is this adorable little gizmo. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Well, I got him at Goodwill. I paid $1.99 for him. He didn't have batteries in, so I didn't know if he worked or not, but I thought that he was too cute to leave behind. And I looked up comps for him while I was in the Goodwill, and he was selling for a decent amount of money. He was selling for over $40, so I thought he needed to come home with me. You can see he still had his hang tag on him. He was very clean. I couldn't open up the battery compartment because I didn't have a little screwdriver to get the battery compartment open, so I was just hoping that the battery compartment looked good, and it did. You can see on the bottom here it was dated 1999. And it was a Tiger toy, which Tiger is a company that is no longer in business. So I knew that it was going to be something that I needed to pick up. So he sold for $45.26, and the buyer paid $7.85 for shipping. And he was listed for less than a week. All right, this next item is something that disappointed me a little bit. I mean, it's a good sale. I mean, I put it up as an auction, and it did sell for $39, and it had 2 bids. I did get this at an auction. I paid $30 for the box that this item was in. I am selling other things that were in the box, but this was the main thing that I wanted in the box. Now, I have never heard of this Sectaris. It is a vintage toy from the 80s. I believe it was dated 1984. And it was a Coleco toy. Let me see if I can find, and I don't have a good enough picture of where it just says Coleco. You can kind of see, like up here, and down here it said Coleco. So I knew that that was a good brand for a vintage action hero. And I had a Coleco gaming system when I was younger, so that's what really makes me think of my childhood is my Coleco video game, which I wish I still had. Anyway, this guy, the comps were really all over the place. I had seen them for selling for about $85. I had seen them selling for $15. So I wasn't exactly sure where to start this at. So I decided to just go ahead and start it. I believe I started it at $25 at an auction, just to see, what it would do. And I would have started it at $30, which is what I paid for the box, but I did buy other things in the box, so I knew that with the other things that I bought in the box, I was going to make my money back. So I went ahead and started it at $24. That's just where it felt good in my gut to start, and sometimes I go with my gut feeling on where to start my items when I do put them up on auction. And it did sell for $39, 2 bids. The buyer did pay $7.85 shipping. Okay, the next item. Now, I've had this dress for probably a month or so. It is this Effie's Heart vintage ModCloth Jackie dress. It was such a cool dress. I did get this on half price day at Goodwill, so I paid $3.99 for the dress. I just liked the style of it, and when I got it home is when I looked up comps, just because I thought this is just a very cool looking, very marvelous Miss Maisel dress with a Sputnik design on it. So I went ahead and bought it for the $3.99, and it sold for $44.20. I was running a 20% off sale, and so I normally have this listed at $55. So I was ecstatic to get the $44.20 bid, and I accepted. I did do free shipping. It did ship first class. So out the door it goes. And this, again, was a ModCloth design. It was a size small. All right, this next item, I don't know why this picture's on there. Let me go down. I found this at Goodwill, and it was actually in the record section, so it wasn't in the toy section. I think somebody probably had it and they were thinking about it and then they decided not to buy it. And I'm glad that they decided not to buy it because I bought it. I paid 99 cents for it. This is a vintage 1981 Stomper toy. My husband remembers these when he had these when he was little. And this was brand new in the package, never opened, so it's a rare find to find it never opened. Again, the comps were all over the place with this guy. They were selling in upwards to over $50, so I was a little disappointed that my auction ended at $21.50. But, you know, I still made my profit. On something that I paid 99 cents for, I shouldn't be too disappointed what I got out of it, but sometimes we get a little greedy and we want to get as much as we can out of things. So I'm still happy to make the $21.50. Did have 4 bids and the buyer did pay shipping. Now with these things, I will ship them out priority because of the insurance involved. I want to make sure that someone gets this and it arrives intact, like it arrives and the packaging is still all sealed with it. So I did ship this out priority. Well, next thing is an item that I've had for a long time, probably for 3 months, which were the Citizens of Humanity Dita Petite Bootcut jeans. They were a size 28. They're in excellent condition. I did have them on a 20% off sale. Originally, I had them at $22.50. And they did finally sell for $18, and the buyer did pay shipping. These were shipped in a padded flat rate envelope. I know that a lot of people do very well with jeans. I don't. I don't enjoy selling jeans. I don't like photographing jeans. I am trying to steer way clear of jeans unless they're just too good to pass up. So I am not a fan of selling jeans. And I know a lot of you are, and I think that's great, but I will leave them all for you to sell because they are not my favorite thing to sell. All right, this next item is a Coogie men's green embroidered double-sided polo. It was a size 5XL. I paid, I believe, $3.99 for this at Goodwill. You can see here it did have a couple spots on it that I noted with the pencil mark there. It was embroidered there on the chest and also on the back. That's a zoom in, there you go. It was embroidered also on the back. So it was a nice shirt. It was a great size. So I went ahead and tried it. I don't think that I'll pick up Coogie again unless it's a vintage jacket. But the buyer did pay $7.35 shipping. This was a size 5X shirt, so it was a heavy shirt. It was over a pound, and I believe I did ship it in a padded flat rate envelope. All right, the next item is this Harley-Davidson t-shirt. I do very well with Harley-Davidson shirts. This one was double-sided, and it was dated on the bottom. You can see there it was dated 2008. Guys, always check these Harley shirts because usually either on the front, mainly on the front, but sometimes on the back, you'll find a date on them. So it helps you look up comps for them. I honestly don't pass up Harley-Davidson shirts if they're in good conditions when I see them because I always sell them. And you can see this one I sold for $25.60. The buyer paid shipping. This one was from Kansas, the Riverfront Harley-Davidson in Kansas. So it doesn't really matter that it has a place on it. Sometimes that helps that it has a place on it. It was a size small. So again, don't pass up these even if they're a small size. They still sell very well. Just make sure that it is a licensed Harley-Davidson tee, and you can tell that by the tag that's on the inside. It doesn't, you know, that's a dead giveaway if it doesn't have a tag that says Harley-Davidson. But these I always do very well with these shirts. This one was flawless. Now this one on the back, it was dated 2007, so the graphic on the back was 2007 and the graphic on the front was 2008. So this is a great shirt for someone to buy to wear for the 4th of July. So it sold within a week's time. This next item here is something that I've had for several months. It didn't have a branding on it. I think it was probably just from a dealership. It was embroidered. It's a Porsche men's polo. It just was embroidered here on the chest with the Porsche, and that was it. It didn't have any other embroidery or logo on it, and it didn't have a brand. My listing was simple, and it sold for $18.60, and the buyer paid shipping, and I paid $3.99 for this shirt. And again, I keep my listings very simple and sweet. I always try to list the fabric content and all the measurements and not bombard with more information. If the customer wants more information, then they will email you and they will ask you. This next item is something that I had for a couple weeks, and I got it from a place in town that I like to find vintage jackets from. It's a thrift store. And this one is an Izod Lacoste outerwear for her. So it's a women's rain jacket from the 1980s. It did have a flaw. The only flaw that was listed is where right here, there should have been the little alligator logo, but it was missing. And I did put that in the listing that little patch was missing. But it was a great jacket still nonetheless. It had no other flaws on it other than the little alligator was missing from the chest pocket, or from the chest. It sold for $13.56. I was running a 20% off sale, and the buyer paid shipping. All right, this next item is something that I bought at Goodwill for $1.99. It was in the graphic tee selection. This was a shirt that I don't really think it had ever been washed. It was a red foil shirt from the Beatles Cirque du Soleil. It was a size medium, and you can see there it has the Beatles tag in it. And I had it for a couple months, paid $1.99 for it, and it sold for $12.20, and the buyer paid shipping. All right, this next item is a Lucky Brand women's Peace Love steel green shirt. I paid $1.99 for, no, actually, I got this at a thrift store on their 50-cent sale. I typically always do pretty good with Lucky Brand, so the only time that I really buy it, though, is when I can get it for a really good price, because, your profit margin isn't huge. So this was a shirt that I paid 50 cents for. It was a size small. It was very pretty. It had this peace and love embroidered. There we go. Kind of stitched embroidered on the chest here. So it was a very pretty shirt. It was like a steel gray or steel green colored shirt. So for $15.19, and the buyer paid shipping. All right, these sold within an hour of me listing them. I got these at the Goodwill outlet. They are these brass butterfly napkin reed holders. Now, I did look up comps for these, and the other ones that I found, they were a brand called Nobbler. And these did not have any stickers on them. All the stickers, you can see, all the stickers were, they were no longer there. But I found comps similar, and they had the similar sticker that here, and it said Nobbler on it. So and they looked exactly like it. I compared them side by side pictures, and they were exactly the same thing. But I didn't know for sure, so I went ahead and put a question mark in my listing. But they sold within an hour of me listing them for $18.75, and the buyer did pay shipping. So these were a great find for me at the bins. Probably paid maybe 50 cents for them, maybe a quarter for them. They weren't very heavy. And they sold very, very fast. So I definitely will be on the lookout for these brass napkin ring holders. All right, the next item is also Lucky Brand's Men Cobra. I believe I bought this for $1.99 at Goodwill in the men's graphic t-shirt section. And it sold for $12.79. The buyer did pay shipping. Lucky Brand does well for me, so I pick it up when I can get it for a cheap enough price. Because again, the profit margin is not huge for Lucky Brand. So if you can get it cheap enough, then always pick it up. Still selling the Hot Wheels. We had a huge lot of Hot Wheels, and my husband took pictures of each one. This one is a copper Stomper from 2009. It was sold at Walmart. It was a police wagon. I think that it was a re-release. and it sold for $12.62, and the buyer paid shipping. Anytime you see Hot Wheels with the red lines on them, always look them up because they are very desirable and collectible. Even if they're not ancient old. This one was from 2009. So still, when you see these out and about, and look through those goodie bags at Goodwill, because a lot of times you'll find these, the red line wheeled cars in them as well. So this was a great little thing to ship out there. Easy to ship out. These, I bought a pack of these in one of the goodie bags at Walmart, and I just, been selling them singly. This one I sold for $4, and the buyer paid shipping. I took a best offer. I had it listed at $5. They sent me an offer at $4, and I took it because I've had these for so long. And I probably had these for about 7 months. So I think I only have a couple of them left. But again, they're easy to list and easy to ship, but they need to go. They're not worth a whole heck of a lot of money. I won't buy those again. Okay, here's another Hot Wheel. This was the Busted Chase Classics. This was not a Red Wing, but a little pointer here on Hot Wheels. When you see them out and about and you can get them cheap enough, on the bottom here is a great way, well, it is the way actually, that you're going to look up comps. You see this one says School Busted, and it has this little serial number here. And you can see this is made in Thailand. So you can do a search by entering in all the information that's given to you on the car. You could put hot pink, School Busted, this B28, Thailand, and you'll get a bunch of different comps for it. But you can see we took a picture of all angles so they can see that there is some scratches and it's been played with. So they're not getting a mint car. So having the pictures, these really good pictures, does help. But you can look up comps on the bottoms of these cars. And it sold for $15.82, and the buyer paid shipping. These I thought for sure they would sell on Etsy, but they didn't. I bought these at a flea market. I believe I paid $6 for them. They were mid-century wooden salt and pepper shaker grinders. They had the Catalina sticker on the bottom, and they were marked Japan, so they are vintage. Originally I had them listed, I've had them listed for a while, and I've tried different prices on them. But my latest listing on them, I had them listed at $18.99. I ran a 20% off sale, and they sold for $15.19 with free shipping. These are not something that I would pick up again, but since I was new to Etsy and I was trying to get a feel of what kinds of vintage things were going to sell, I wanted to give them a try, and wasn't that great of a profit margin for me, so I would not pick these up again. These are something that I've had in the shop, and I've had them for a while, and they were these vintage mid-century wooden salt and pepper shakers. They had these cool nautical flags on them, and they had their original box with them. It's just something that we've had in the shop for a while, and a lot of us, some things that we have in our antique shop are things that my dad has had just hoarded for years and years and years, over 20 years. Until he was able to open up a shop. And so a lot of the things, I don't know what he's paid for it because we've had it for so long. He couldn't even tell you what he paid for it. So it's hard to put a price point on things that he's had, stowed away for 20 years. But I did sell these for $17.55. I believe I had them marked at like $12 in the shop. So I did make more of a profit. I did have them originally listed at $21.94 and ran a 20% off sale, and so they sold for $17.55, and the buyer paid shipping. This Kenyan Barbie, she was part of the Dolls of the World collection from 1993. She was also in that lot of toy, that the Sectaris toy figure that I showed earlier in the video. She was in that box as well. And I threw her up on an auction because the comps were still all over the place, and I did end up selling her for $6. And the buyer did pay shipping. I did send it out priority because I wanted the insurance on it. The plastic on the box was not good. I mean, the doll had not been ever taken out of her box, but the box was not in good condition. And I did note that the box is not in mint condition. The plastic film is loose, and the plastic is a bit dirty, but the doll had never been removed from the box. So always be honest with your listings. You don't want something like this to get returned. If they try to return it, then you can note that you did list it in the listing. She was a beautiful doll. She had a beautiful face, and the hair. She didn't have long hair. She was just a neat looking doll. But she's a collectible doll. They were a special edition, so I went ahead and tried her on eBay. Now, would I buy her again? Probably not. But when I'm buying a lot of things at an auction, I'm trying to piece it out every little bit. This is something that was pretty cool. It is a vintage 1976 belt buckle. This was the winged skull, and it was made. Now, this had some issues. This was a very worn belt buckle. There is still some collectible value in them. I could barely make out the maker's mark, but it was an Indiana metal craft. And, you know, a lot of Harley guys like these belt buckles. And so there is still a collector's market for them. It's in rough condition. You can see it had years of wear that is visible, but it was still a functional belt buckle. I had this listed for a while, and ended up taking a best offer for $10.25 in the buyer paid shipping. It was a hard piece not to get. I think I got this in a lot of other belt buckles. I think I paid maybe $8 for the lot of them. So I made my money back just on this buckle itself. It was just a cool buckle. This was an item that I found at a yard sale a couple weekends ago. I paid 50 cents for it. It was a yard sale at the end of the day. Everything on the table, she said, was 50 cents. This was the only thing that I got from the yard sale, but it was just this Yeti cool can, like a cozy can cozy. It did have some issues there. It had this dent. Let me zoom in on this picture. It had this dent right here that even after you stuck a can in it, the dent didn't come out. So I did mention that in the listing, and I think it was used for boating. That's why I put boating, fishing, float. It was that foamy material that almost like boat cushions are made of that floats. So there was one side, and then it had the shark on the other. You can see here it was labeled cool can, made in the USA. I just put in the listings, I put every single defining thing I could. I couldn't actually find comps on this. I thought it would be an easy thing to find comps on, but I couldn't really find them easily enough. So the manufacturing flaw makes the cozy look dented, but it does not affect the use. So sold for $9.50. It did ship free. It was super lightweight, so it did ship first class. All right, the last item is something that we got at an estate sale. We actually have, I think, 5 of these. When we bought, it was just in a lot of stuff that we bought. And the lady told us that it was a certain autograph, but it wasn't. It wasn't that person. This was a Josh Bard autograph baseball from the San Diego Padres. It did come with the case. It was in mint condition. And probably the case was worth what it sold for. But I have, like I said, 5 of these, and I have some listed by it now. I went ahead and tried one at an auction, and it sold for $5.25, and the buyer did pay shipping. And that was it, though. Those were my sales for the week of May 20th through 26th. I sold 22 items. My total sales were, my total net sales were $509.53. And you can see that my sales were up 55% from last week. So that. Okay, guys, so it was a decent week. My net sales on eBay were $509.53. That is with me selling 22 items. And again, you saw it was a mixture between clothing and hard goods and vintage. So always try to diversify, and there's always bargains out there. You can always sell something. honestly, I have looked around my house and thought, I don't need that anymore. And then I'll just put it on eBay. So you can, you know, if you don't have a stockpile like I do of things to sell, then just look around your house, look for things that you don't need anymore, you don't use anymore, and list it on eBay. I do it probably every week. Make sure that you are subscribed to my channel and hit the little bell icon, and you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. I've been trying to do a video almost daily during the week. I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and help my channel grow. I am so close to reaching my 1,000 subscribers, and it means so much to me when you guys comment and let me know that you like my videos. So that is the video of what sold on eBay this week, and hopefully I'll have a good one next week too. So far, so good. It's been a good week. So make sure that you check out my videos for the rest of the week, and I will see you soon.